Hey, you're listening to Apostates on the Fringe, atheist leftist podcast where we talk about the news and shit. We're your hosts. I'm Alistair.
I'm Dustin.
Sam.
And it sounded for a second that we're a theist podcast.
Did it blur all together?
Yeah, it was like we're a theist all of a sudden.
We are not theists.
We're no
Hail Satan.
Hail Satan.
What are you drinking now?
Jackalope Snowman Stout.
I like the Jackalope Brewing Company. There was a week there where I think like Sam and I had it for like back to back weeks. So they have pretty good beer.
It's brewed with coffee and cocoa nibs.
That's the one I had because I remember I said, "What the fuck's a cocoa nib?"
Cocoa nib.
I remember I was like, "What is a nib?" Like I still don't know, and it's been months since I've had that.
Sounds like a slur.
Sam, what are you drinking?
It is. I can't pronounce this accent mark. Zalas? Zulus? Light in the Darkness Porter.
Light in the darkness.
Light in the
Can't
darkness.
always be night. Zelus.
Zelus. Okay.
Zelus. I like it. Sorry. And I have two. I have the Sweetwater Blue and the Gotta Get Up to Get Down. Just some of my favorite ones that I could find at a grocery store that's pretty local.
At least it's actually beer.
It is actually beer. Listen, it's because it's impossible. I decided it's impossible to try to stay any kind of like low carb-ish diet during the holidays. It's not fucking
You're not.
possible.
It's not
Don't do that to
happening.
yourself.
No.
Just do some fucking push-ups, Dustin.
I
Drink a good beer and do a push-up.
I jogged a little bit. It's fine, but no, it's like it's not going to be possible.
When do you
not
jog?
even-
When?
Do I know?
When do you jog?
At night. I get cold or I get hot easily, so I do it at night.
Where?
I'm right here on the front.
I don't believe you.
Okay. I'm not going to take video of me doing it, but
I'll jog with you.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so these hills, though, they suck. Like it really does limit how, because I have the Achilles tendonitis, it really does limit how far I can jog on it. But it's something I'm getting back into doing, and it's now so I can have regular beer now. But it's just not going to be possible at all to have a low carb during the fucking holidays. Because as soon as I go I'm heading to Indiana tomorrow, and this is gonna be fucking sweets, chocolate, cakes, all the things. You know, this whole week at work, it's just been party after party at the branches, getting me food and feeding me up. So nope. Regular beer for me tonight.
It's better anyway.
Yeah, I'm sorry we missed a week because I got hella sick, y'all.
Yeah, we didn't even tell anybody we were skipping a week.
No COVID, though.
No COVID. You know what? Holy shit, I got my test back pretty fast. I went to a Walgreens at like 4 p.m. on a Wednesday, and then by I got the results back pretty quickly. So, but no COVID. It must have been what the other shot I didn't get, which is the flu shot. I didn't get that, and so that's probably what it was. I still have residual. I may clear my throat or cough throughout the record. Hopefully, it's not
Yeah,
not
there's
too
some pretty
bad
bad
for
flu
listeners.
strains going around now since no one got the flu last year.
Yeah, it's whatever it was. It did kind of kick my ass. I mean, I had a fever. I was coughing for fucking days. Here I am a week out, still doing it. So
Yeah, nobody got it last year because people were wearing fucking masks.
yeah, it's the amount of people, even with this new variant, that's already Jesus Christ. It already became the Omicron has already become the new dominant strain in the United States, with representing 3/4 of new cases.
It's not dominant. It's the only strain, apparently.
Oh, right. When the right can't meme.
Yeah, so went in looking at the
People are still dying from Delta.
yeah.
Omicron has killed one person, but they were immunocompromised. The flu that has killed more people this year than Omicron has.
It's so funny because while I was pulling up, I was on Google News, and it kind of put several articles under like one subject header, and it was around talking about Omicron, and there was two conflicting articles from two separate spaces. One of them said there's no real data to suggest that Omicron has milder symptoms, and underneath that an article says Omicron variant represents 80% fewer hospitalizations. I'm like, I mean, that kind of is evidence of milder symptoms if it's 80% less hospitalizations. I didn't.
Or, I mean, more people are vaccinated now, and are they going off of total? Because I saw a headline that this was with me looking at the anti-vaxxers groups. They had one about Harvard or Cornell, one of the Ivy League schools, shut down due to the new variant, and they had 900 cases in the school, and almost every single one of them were vaccinated. Of course, the anti-vaxxers are spreading this like wildfire, see, they could get it, but the school, when I found the original source of it, the school, 99% of students are vaccinated, and nobody is severely ill. They make all the few unvaccinated people they make them test regularly, and they regularly test other students just as a preventative, so they could see if it's on their campus. So once they got to and they have 24,000 students or something like that, and 900 of them they shut down with 900.
And I'm sure they glossed over the fact that they had mild symptoms. The ones that were vaccinated, they just focused solely on that. Well, you can still get the virus. The vaccine's useless.
But the thing is it because of it going towards it's going to be in the big epicenters first anyway, which is going to be New York, California, places where they have higher vaccination rates. It's not in fucking rural Tennessee as much now, where once it hits here, it's going to spread like crazy, and it's going to get the unvaccinated. But,
right.
The states that are mostly vaccinated, it's going to show mild symptoms because people have taken preventative measures.
Yeah, we'll have to see what it does when it starts hitting the largely unvaccinated populations in the largely southern states are still doing that because they're still on their bullshit. Did you guys see? No, you shared that article. It was not even the United States, but it was fucking hilarious to me, where this guy they're going to such great lengths to get proof of a vaccine. He brought a silicone arm.
Yeah.
Wasn't that fucking
I can't remember what country that was.
It was Italy.
It was Italy, yeah. So
Italy's in the news for a lot of things regarding the vaccine.
He got charges because
it's fraud.
Yeah.
Homeboy brought a silicone arm, I guess, and the person given the shot was I guess the skin tone didn't match, and so they rolled up the sleeve to reveal the silicone arm. He was to get the proof of vaccine. He's just stick this needle into the silicone.
I could see him before they even stick him. He's like, ow. Oh, you didn't do it yet? Oh, sorry. I mean, ow.
So the things I've found in the anti-vax groups this last week, one is a meme with Ron Burgundy on it. And it says, tonight on Unsolved Mysteries, we investigate why no one ever tests positive for an old variant after a new one comes around. But
that's what we call a straw man, because that's not true.
It's not. It's just not. So 73% of COVID cases right now, as of yesterday, is the article I found, are the
Omicron. It's actually either or Omicron or Omicron, however you prefer. I know Sam prefers Omicron because of Futurama.
Yeah. But so and the reason why more of with each variant becomes more contagious.
It does appear to be that way. I mean,
that's why the new variant has a very high infection rate. We know it's higher than the other one. So, once it comes around, it's going to outnumber the ones that are less contagious. This is fucking common sense.
Right.
But they don't get that.
The people dying have Delta, though.
But what's crazy is how fast this became the new dominant strain. I know Delta, but it took Delta months to do what Omicron did in weeks because of how how easily it is spread.
Like we were saying the other week, it's like you put your points into
right.
spreading faster and less into lethality.
And then, everybody in the comments is like, that's so true. They got a point. And then they throw up some other conspiracy theories.
Actually, death numbers are up after Thanksgiving. It's pretty much mirrors last year of how they were up at the time. And they're going to be which means they're going to be up again.
Yeah, they're preparing for the new surge for the holidays. I mean,
so they don't really talk about it as much, but death numbers have been.
Did you see Biden ordered about 500 million tests, free at home tests to be
I did
ordered?
see that.
Thanks, Papa.
Yeah. See, maybe that'll help, but I mean, we're looking for another surge because, and then why are they so focused? I'm going to go back to the conspiracy part of this. Why are they always so focused about the arrangement of the fucking letters? Every time there's a new name for something, they rearrange the letters to match whatever ideology they believe, or you sent some comments, and it looked like they created their own definitions for...
Yeah, so someone posted, spell it backwards and look at the meaning. And someone replied, COVID spelled backwards is divok, is a Hebrew word that means possession by an evil spirit. The Omicron meanings, they posted a link to this page, and it's like a user from United Kingdom says the name Norsimo is an African origin and means perfection in all aspects. In Indiana, it's a word or phrase you use when you are using deceptive tactics that are not standing up to scrutiny.
What's this pronounced backwards again? Norsimo?
Norsimo, I'm guessing.
I love that they just think that like this like
Norcamo.
a fake this Illuminati group or whatever that does this just sits around and be like, yes, how can we put codes into everything we do?
Yeah.
This is so much fun. But what if the letters add up? Ha ha ha.
A user from New Jersey says it's an Aboriginal origin and means destroyer of worlds. So yeah, these people, this New Jersey person in Indiana, just fucking randomly got...
It's a random person.
Like, that's
it's a random fucking person. They said this and like, yeah, see, we told you it's a government fucking conspiracy. What was the other one? It was Omicron and Delta equals media control or something like that.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. I don't understand the mental gymnastics these people put themselves through to make this match whatever fucking narrative they have. Like, it's some secret code. Like, they think they've cracked the secret fucking code that the government was like, they'll never guess that Delta and Omicron. They'll never guess that we're controlling them with the media. Oh, fuck, they got us. Again.
So
they're like, I told you to make it harder. You made it too easy.
Another thing I found, it says, in the next conspiracy theory proved true. This Pfizer patent application was approved August 31st, 2021, and is the first patent that shows up in the list of over 18,500 for the purpose of remote contact tracing of all vaccinated humans worldwide who will be or are now connected to the Internet of Things by a quantum link of pulsating microwave frequencies of 2.5 gigahertz or higher from cell phone towers and satellites directly to the caffeine oxide held in the fatty tissues of all persons who've had the death shot.
You know what's really funny is that they know those are all words, but they understand none of them.
Yeah, that's the thing. If anybody reading this, they don't understand what any of that fucking means.
What's funny is, though, that any frequency around that would actually be 2.4. Did they say gigahertz or megahertz?
Gigahertz.
Yeah, it would actually be 2.4 gigahertz is the typical radio transmission. Fucking idiots. And that's for like low-grade Wi-Fi. So they're just pulling numbers out of their ass at this point. And trying to make it... But what's funny is people read that and they just accept it and think that's fucking true.
Those are scientific words. It must be true.
God damn. Like, those are all words, but it's just word salad and means fucking nothing. But they all think it's some fucking global conspiracy, and I don't know why.
I swear, if I didn't know the consequences of doing this shit, I would have so much fun just writing out complete bullshit and watching these people go ape shit.
You could go viral.
I could. I could write something that would completely... And it just pull shit out of my ass.
New project, because...
I won't do it. No, there are consequences to it.
New TikTok. We have a new TikTok channel for you, Al. We're doing it.
I've thought so many times about conspiracy theories and making them up, and I'm like, no... Somebody's gonna get killed from that one day, and then I'd have to like deal with my conscience then, and I just fuck.
My favorite conspiracy was what you also shared because you do it to yourself. You put yourself in these groups, and I get to benefit from that without actually suffering the mental, anguish of reading those words on a daily basis. So you do the homework for me, but you shared something where, again in Italy. Because fucking why not? They on the same day that they announced that the mandate would extend to, among others, the military. They shared this picture of
it was the military warehouse
vaccine
that housed the vaccines is right. What they said,
and they were like, look at their but hold on, before we get to how it's actually bullshit, were they not applauding that?
Yeah, they were celebrating.
So aren't these the same people, though, who bitch about burning things when we...
Yes, but they were celebrating it. They thought it was great that this... obviously, somebody had set a fire in this military warehouse. Like, they were saying that the soldiers
as a protest to
fire.
the vaccine mandate.
Yeah.
And they were celebrating that. And yet these are the same fucking people who... when they see the George Floyd protests and everything else...
Fascists are hypocrites? Why?
Yeah.
I mean, when I thought I was like, really? You know what? They don't understand like how they're going to, condemn one group but applaud another because they don't know how shit works. But then it's not even it was a barracks, right? Just a fucking barracks.
So I went looking for more info on this because, of course, they just show a picture and they don't share an article with it. It's just a picture, and someone on Telegram captioned the picture.
And why is it always the grainiest caption that capture too? It's not even the clearest picture either.
So I ended up going to search, and that's how I found the Italy man with the silicone arm, because when I went searching for that. But I ended up finding that it was just like it was in a barracks. It was a military. It wasn't military. It was a police training building.
Oh, okay.
So not even military. It's police. And it was a barracks, and in one of the guest rooms, a fire started. No vaccines were housed there. And it fucking went spread. Now, there were other websites, conservative websites, linking today is the day their vaccine mandate goes into effect. I couldn't verify that at all. I searched and searched. All of this stuff with the mandate going into effect seemed like it happened in October.
There was something that occurred that day because there was an article. So if you ever go to news.google.com, it shows you news curated to you. But on the right is like a series of fact checking ones, and that barracks one popped up on the right, and so it was a thing that actually did coincide. I didn't memorize the article because you'd already shared it, but there was something that did come out that day that coincided with that fire, but it had nothing to do with vaccines.
Right.
Well, the building itself. There may have been a law or a mandate that extended to something, but...
it was likely somebody had some shit plugged in and, like...
but they're so quick to
fire.
share misinformation. Like, do you think it's a troll campaign, or you think someone just, like... I guess I never really understand these motives.
I mean, in a way, yes, it is trolls, but these trolls are, like... a lot of times when I troll, I make my trolling so fucking out there that you have to be a complete fucking idiot to believe it. And of course they still believe it. But
you do have the occasional Poe, I will say.
But my Poes are still fucking ridiculous stuff. There's always something in there that anybody with some fucking sense could look at this and be like, they're fucking pranking us or something, but
so rather these are people who were like, what actually happened? This is not the real story. What actually happened is this is a vaccine, and they're just hiding that because they sort of thing, like that's what they're running with.
I think they actually want to fool. They want to get so many people outraged over this that they're throwing all this stuff out.
Isn't their movement kind of dying though?
No, it's really not. It's just changing in a lot of ways. I mean, right now they're getting ready to start running for local seats all over the place. School boards, they've changed it. It's not dying. They've just changed how they're going about things.
I don't understand why you're not running. You were contacted by the local Democratic Party. I don't understand why you...
They don't want me, man. They did. I got a text asking if I was interested in running.
I got two.
I got two, actually. The first one
well?
I ignored. The second one, I'm like, y'all don't fucking want me, man.
Now, let me ask you, have you gotten any more since then? Because if they've got me... I ignored the first one. I didn't respond to the second one either.
I had them change my name in the system, and she's like, do you want information on how to run? I'm like, no, really, you guys do not want me. Think David Hayes, only further left. She's like, okay, have a good day. And I was like, I will say that I am trying to find people that the local Democrats would accept and trying to talk them into running. I'm like, I'm fighting the way I can, but y'all don't want me.
So something else popped up over the weekend, though. So I guess after Christmas break, though, so this a break from the vaccine because they're gonna be on their bullshit. When kids return from school, they're going back to basics.
Yeah. Let me pull
the
that
basics.
up.
Yeah.
This was put out by Moms.
It's a local group, isn't it?
It's Moms for Liberty, which we
Facebook
have
group.
here. This one was actually from the Williamson County Moms for Liberty, which is Tennessee. That's out near, I think it's Brentwood area. So basics, they spell out basic, B.A.S.I.C, and what is that called? Where you spell out?
To me, that would be an initialism.
Yeah, maybe. So B
or an
is,
acronym, technically, because the word basic is, I don't know.
Yeah. B is bad, angry white people. A is anti-Americanism. S is suicide ideation. I is implicit white guilt. And C is cannibalism.
So it's critical race theory, suicide, and cannibalism,
Yes,
essentially.
yes. And you can read more.
Or a bastardization of critical race theory, rather.
You can read more about the over 2,000 hours of parent research done on wit and wisdom. And wit and wisdom is a curriculum that is used in the schools. I went on and I tried to find what they were freaking out about. I did find a school board meeting where 6 parents went up and read like excerpts out of books. And they claim that 4 different books mention cannibalism. One of them, though, was like a folklore and some monster was eating kids. And then he spit them back out alive. It was all things like that aren't encouraging kids to be cannibals.
I'm not so sure
in
that a
any
monster.
way.
I'm not so sure that a monster eating its children constitutes cannibalism, because technically cannibalism would be, me going there just chewing on Sam's arm.
Yeah.
I'm not a monster. Maybe I would be if I chewed on Sam's arm.
I think it was a cannibal monster. I don't.
So it ate other monsters?
No, it ate children, apparently.
But if it's a cannibal monster, then it eats other monsters. That makes it a cannibal, but it also eats children. Maybe that's what they meant.
Yeah, okay.
Then it would be a cannibal monster.
Sam, you've expressed You've expressed a little bit of sadness that you weren't properly taught cannibalism when you went through school.
Yeah, I know. Like, this sounds really cool. Where is that? Was it like a home ec class that I met? Like how to cook it properly or something?
When I posted this on my friends list, most people were really excited about cannibalism finally being taught in schools.
Because I feel like I would cook a person the wrong way, because I wouldn't do it raw, but I would like to know the proper way.
The biggest thing is you go for babies. The younger, the better the meat. Yes.
Tender and mild, just like baby Jesus.
By the way, guys, this airs on Sunday. It'll be after Christmas. So
okay,
that's too bad. But for you guys in the studio, make sure to get your babies out of the freezer now if you want them tender and mild for Christmas. Just get that out there. So how big of a group is this Moms for Fucking Liberty?
Moms for Liberty is actually, so we have a chapter here in Knoxville. 2 school board members are involved in our Moms for Liberty group. Williamson County seems to be bigger and more active. Ours here, they're trouble, but that's who the Sherry Garrett, who's running for school board here. She's one of the anti-vax, anti-mask ones. I believe she is through Moms for Liberty. So, yeah, I don't know exactly how many people. I tried to get into their Facebook groups. They won't let me in. I even tried on my sock, and they're just like, something's up with this person. Where did I know? So, I couldn't get into those to see. But I know our local group has about 300 people.
Where do they meet?
Huh?
Do they have meetings, public meetings or something?
I don't know. I haven't found that out yet. But they
have shitty flyers. Where were those handed out? Where were those discovered?
I do not know. I found this in a group with some Nashville friends posted it. So I don't know if they went door to door putting them places, but I don't know. Somebody found it and was like, "What the fuck is this shit?"
Suicide
the thing, though, is
ideation.
First off, your child is being taught these basics when they return in January. Basics has an apostrophe S, and they left out the most obvious one, and I can't believe they did that. Down at the bottom, they only spelled basic. They could have made it basic and made S Satan.
Yeah.
Like, how did they miss that? But
that's like low-hanging fruit for them. That would have been the easiest one to deal with.
They think that suicidal ideation is a lot bigger problem than Satanism.
I will say they are probably right about the bad, angry white people. Because I went to the Wit and Wisdom website, and on the very front page of their website, they had a Ruby Bridges book up there, and I know for a fact that book features bad, angry white people. So...
But
that's just history, bad, angry white people.
Right.
Anti-Americanism is another one.
That's just history.
Again, well, they're taking. This is direct aim at critical race theory, which Tennessee doesn't fucking teach anyways, or allowed to teach anyways. But then suicide ideation.
I didn't hear. Like, I watched that school board meeting, and I didn't hear them bring up the suicide part. So I don't know where they're getting that.
They really, I'm with you. They gloss over Satanism or Satan for suicide.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, they could have added both. There could have been an extra. They could have spelled B.A.S.I.C.
They could have, yeah.
And ended it with Satan. I can't.
These aren't the brightest people, obviously.
They're clearly not.
And it's a very boring looking fucking. Is it front and page, front and back looking?
Yeah, they just.
Flyer. It's so
they
boring
just
looking.
printed it on. They
Like,
probably
no
printed
marketing
front
skills.
and back a bunch and cut the page in half. It's just fucking that neon yellow paper that they print shit up at schools and stuff.
Someone with just like a word processor. Like there's no. It's a very boring looking thing.
Hey, they have their logos on there. It's Parents' Choice Tennessee and Moms for Liberty.
I like how they probably put their logo on there in Microsoft Word, and it shifted the whole document. It fucked it because that's how fucking Microsoft works.
And
Word sucks.
Parents' Choice Tennessee. That's pushing probably the school choice shit wanting to. They essentially want to defund public schools and send that money to private religious schools instead.
Well, they're still mad that they're still losing the mask mandate. Then they also they lost another thing recently.
Oh, so Biden's here in our local mandate stuff, nothing's happened. It hasn't moved at all. It's just stagnant. But they are pissed off because a judge has said that an
appeals court judge, wasn't it?
Yeah, he has said that Biden's mandate for healthcare workers and businesses with 100 plus, or is it 100?
It's 100 or more.
That they can go ahead with the mandates. Of course, the anti-maskers are saying a whole lot of companies only have 99 employees now, which... how do they know that?
It's because they have so many people die every 2 weeks for some reason.
All these companies that are struggling to find employment, they're just going to cap at 99 just to prevent having...
Well, it won't be hard when they have so many people dropping dead every week from COVID, so they can keep those numbers low.
Looking at this post, dudes be showing their Vax Pass to get into the movie theater to watch Matrix 4. Like, bro, you chose the blue pill.
See, that's what I think is hilarious. I put a post.
I knew this was gonna.
I put a post into the group that for those of you that don't know, like, the Matrix is a trans analogy. Like, it was made by two people that were struggling with their gender identity, and they were, passed as male at the time, and they are both women. They have come out now, and there's a lot of things that go into why that happens, especially with like Mr. Anderson. The emphasis on dead naming Neo is a huge part of it. There's a lot of things in there, so I think it's hilarious that the right wing they took the red pill, blue pill thing from the Matrix. Like they completely don't understand it, because I've seen people talk about the new Matrix is all, oh man, this is just a liberal SJW propaganda. I'm like, it always has been, you fucking idiot. It's always been.
Well, it's almost like almost every week we talk about how they steal something that they don't understand what
Fight
it is.
Club's another one.
Yeah.
I'm excited for the new one, the new Matrix.
I think it's on. I think it is on HBO. You can watch it on HBO now if you...
Oh, it's out now. Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to wait for it to see it in theaters, but...
Oh, on the vaccine, they found some report of... it says, I, mother of patient, received the first full dose of Moderna vaccine on Friday, June 18th at approximately 1:30 p.m. I fed my 3-month-old daughter milk that I pumped from my breast later that night and put her to bed. When transferring her to her bassinet at approximately 11:30 p.m., she started a seizure that lasted 7 minutes. She had been a healthy baby with no health conditions prior to these events.
What? Where is this at?
It's so they have that B.A.S.I. website.
Oh, right.
Where people are
literally anyone can put anything. It's not peer reviewed or verified.
They are just trying to fucking kill themselves. It's fucking hilarious.
And what's funny is it's because the B.A.S.I. website is just, anyone could put anything and it's not verified. Even if there was some sort of adverse reaction, there's no information there that says that the adverse reaction was as a result of the vaccine. Shit happens to people all the fucking time medically.
That baby probably had a fever and her mom didn't realize it or something and had a seizure that way.
It could be anything. People die all the fucking time. A lot of people are getting vaccines. A lot of things happen medically. So, it's basically post hoc ergo propter hoc fucking rationalization. Therefore, because of it. That's not usually the case. And these people are horribly misrepresenting, and that's always their go-to. The VAERS is always the go-to. There's been millions of vaccine deaths, and the media is not reporting it. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, if there were 20 deaths from the fucking vaccine that were verified, that would be huge fucking news. So shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Well, they don't live in...
I'm over that bullshit.
They don't live in reality. Like I said, they live in this alternate reality where they're killing themselves. I brought up the other week the Bill Burr's joke that just gets more hilarious the more you think of it. Like, why would the government come up with a plan where it only kills people that listen to it? It doesn't make any fucking sense.
Right. No, he's not wrong. My favorite part of that was how he immediately... he's like, shut the fuck up. You're not a medical expert, nor am I. This is not for either of us to talk about. I love him. I love that interaction with Bill Burr. I hate that it happened on fucking Joe Rogan's show, but I guess it kind of had to happen on his show because no one else would have probably tried to act like a medical expert aside from fucking on a major podcast like that.
He just tries to mimic whoever's on a show. He's like, oh, wow, that's so cool. To like someone that he was talking shit on the other week.
Joe Rogan was?
Yeah. I mean, that's just his thing. I don't think he's a bad interviewer. I think it really depends on who he has on a show.
I don't really listen to his show except for the clips from that people share because I don't find his show that entertaining. I did.
Depends
Joe
on
Rogan?
who's on.
Yeah.
Yeah, you couldn't pay me to watch it.
He's not entertaining, but he can have some entertaining guests sometimes.
He did have... Well, this is before he got... I guess... Has Chris D'Elia been canceled yet, or is he mid-canceled? Chris D'Elia. He's the comedian that apparently was going after young women on Snapchat, and then there was a scene where he was being interviewed. And he's like, "They can save Snapchat." He didn't realize that Snapchat could be saved
in mid interview.
Yeah, in mid interview.
No,
and you can see he could see his face die inside as he came to that realization. But I listened to him. He's actually a pretty funny comedian. He was talking about how he almost shit himself on the way to meet Eminem on Joe Rogan's podcast. So I thought that was pretty funny. But that's, again, I don't listen to his show that much.
And he loves the children.
He
wants to make love to the children. Just like libertarians.
Hey, speaking of libertarians.
Yeah.
Someone found our show. It's Almost in Agreement is the name of the podcast?
I think so, yeah. That sounds about right.
Okay.
And he's a libertarian. I think his name was... I can't remember what
How
his
rich
name
is
right
he?
now.
Is he a multimillionaire?
I didn't
well for
dig
himself?
into this guy like I do a lot of people.
Sad.
I think
he does not seem.
I'm not going to dox him, but I know where he works.
Yeah.
Big mansion on the hill.
No.
Huge statue of Ayn Rand.
He's probably comfortable, but not poor, not rich. A lot of libertarians actually are in that just comfortable range.
but still not rich enough to actually benefit from things.
He gave us a pretty fair review. Like, he wasn't... I went to go listen to it. I'm like, man, he's going to be fucking roasting us.
I thought so, too. I thought as soon as you mentioned her name, I was like, he's going to shit all over us.
I think there's a lot that the left and libertarians agree with until it comes to economics.
That's kind of his critique was we don't get into solutions as much, but it's kind of hard on a 1 hour show when we're talking about several different topics. He doesn't agree
with our solutions either when it comes to like when it comes to police.
He likes that we do not agree with the police. He says fuck the police too.
Oh yeah, of course, fuck the police.
Yeah,
he says libertarians are not pedophiles, but I would like to sit and have a talk with him about that because he kind of went on to
defend ageism. I think.
Yeah, he kind of he did bring up some stuff that is the same arguments that you have libertarians bringing up when we discuss age of consent. The biggest one is when he was talking about on the episode where we were talking about non-binary, the different chromosomes and stuff like that. He said that I recognize that that's a complex issue, but not when it comes to attraction to underage people, how complex that is. But he brought up, like, if somebody doesn't act on it, should they be banished? Well, no. See, here's the thing. If somebody doesn't act on it, and they just have, like, this, they look at somebody younger and think they're attractive, but they never act on it, they don't speak on it, nobody's going to fucking know that person's a pedophile.
Correct.
So, no, we're not going to banish them away from society as long as you aren't acting on it. No, nobody fucking cares,
you could say the same thing about, thoughts of murder, like...
Right. I mean, people get angry.
Like
people think
crime.
Something, and that's exactly it. It's thought crime. No, nobody's going that. What we're talking about is people acting on it. And when it comes to people acting on that and trying to hit on younger girls, or
those same people that say they won't act on it, they'll groom women and wait till they come of age.
Yeah, even that. That's the thing is there are victims there. Me recognizing that there's chromosomal differences in people, or somebody being non-binary, there is absolutely no victim. Nobody is getting hurt by me being non-binary.
Right.
A pedophile is hurting somebody younger. There is a victim there. There's a harm present. Yes. Now, he went on and talked about, the arbitrary numbers of drinking, which I think we all fucking... No, it's true. He's correct there.
That's not what I'm saying.
He's absolutely correct with the numbers are fucking arbitrary. When you have, like, at 18, you could sign up to join a military, but you can't have a fucking beer. That's dumb. Yeah.
Now you can't buy cigarettes.
Right.
Like that.
I do think when it comes
to the age of consent,
when it comes to minors making some medical decisions on, being able to get an abortion without their parents' consent or being able to get a vaccine, I think that's completely different. Like, I have a 16-year-old who has started taking on some of their medical decisions on their own, and I support them in this. Not everything, like, I can't say that everything I would have chosen for them is the route that they've gone, but I'm glad to see my kid is thinking of for themselves and coming up with their, deciding that it's time for them to make these decisions. But when you have, say, a 14-year-old or 15-year-old gets pregnant and they know that they're not ready to take care of this baby, but the parents won't let them get an abortion, that's affecting that child's entire life, and that child should have the autonomy to say, no, I don't want this. I want to go and have an abortion. I think it's, that's a complex issue, but I don't think that's the same as necessarily buying cigarettes or things like that. I think
a lot of those pedophiles, they're maybe not so much like attracted to... They're attracted to young people. They're more attracted to people they can manipulate.
They're attracted to the power and
I think the power is
control. That's a lot of it. I mean, some of them are. No, I think most of it is power and control, and that's why they're opportunists. They're gonna find the best place to go, and like churches. Boy Scouts, things like that. They're going to find where the best opportunity is. They're going to find the most vulnerable kid who may not have the family support or anyone at home to really go to. They're going to pray out those kids.
But to bring it back around, libertarians across the country and the world fight for breaking down age of consent laws.
Yeah.
As a party.
And he was saying no, they don't, but I've seen their fucking leaders post things on their I say leaders loosely. It's the people in their movement that have the most following. I've seen some of them posting specifically about age of consent, dealing with sex of young girls, with young girls. And they're in support of that. And these are the people that are looked at as leaders in the libertarian movement.
What's really strange is that almost in the same breath, when they started talking about the age of consent, he acknowledged that the brain isn't fully formed until around the age of 25. Mm-hmm. So, that also ties into the arbitrary numbers for everything else, cigarettes, things like that. But I think they're trying to tie in that same. I guess they're saying that if they can, I think their argument is if. Tying back to the medical decision, if they can make a medical decision for themselves, could they also make the decision to be with a older man?
To let an older man control their life,
right? That's kind of where I think that's where the conversation needs to happen with them, and I think that's where their heads at. If they can make that decision, why couldn't they make that decision regarding being with older man? And I think it's a different thing, and obviously we acknowledge that, but that's the conversation that we would need to have with that person.
Right. Not quite the same situation. Especially when you have people preying on and grooming, and because, that's the whole thing with manipulation, is you're making people think they want something that they don't necessarily want.
Yeah, like I said, it's a power thing. You see that a lot with people that have gotten canceled. One of the big things now, the grooming is being seen as more of a thing, even if it's even if they're technically 18. I think there's been a number of people who have been canceled, famous people who have been canceled for grooming people, abusing their power and grooming, and the type of language that is used to. I think that people I don't think even when I was that age in my teens that people really understood what the warning signs of grooming were. I think this is really a newer. The phenomenon has been around for as long as humankind has, but I think that acknowledging, this is what grooming looks like.
I started hearing about grooming when my kid was probably around, I'd say, between 2 and 5 years old in there. So before 2010, which I'd already been out of school and stuff for a while by then. And then, of course, it's a common word now. Everybody knows what grooming was, but it was kind of newer.
Yeah, it hasn't been acknowledged to the extent that it is now.
And, when we talk about 18 or 19-year-olds, they're going to be victim, too, and especially with older men. And it's the ones that fall most for it are likely going to be those that are in religious households.
It's because a religious hierarchy sets up the basis for the grooming hierarchy powers. I'm going to bring up some. I fucking hate Twilight, and people say let people like things, but if you read in the book of Twilight of the fucking wolf guy Jacob falls for the fucking baby when it's born, and if you read the outline of the book about their relationship, it reads like a how to groom someone. When they're younger, act like a brother to them, and as they get a little older, then you act like this figure, and then they get a little older, and look, now you're in love. It's like an outline of how to groom someone in the Twilight book.
Look, and then you have
he's
the
like
vampire
300
guy.
years old, isn't he?
Going after a minor.
That's the Wolfman. Oh, that in general, that in general.
Yeah, Robert Pattinson's
I saw a joke. They talk about little anime girls, and the police come. They're like, "You're a pedophile," and it's a guy with a little anime girl, and then he's like, "Oh no!" and then they take her away, and they're like, "She's a 300-year-old vampire. You're a pedophile."
Well, because people, they seem to be okay with that fucking movie about some 200 or 300-year-old fucking vampire falling. She was like 16 at the time.
Yeah.
Because he visually looks like around her age. But, let me tell you what a news article I read this week, and it's kind of sad. As a female she may be near her 30s now, but she's 3'8" and resembles an 8-year-old child.
Yeah.
The world's smallest.
No, she's there. She had a disease that affected her pituitary gland. I think that affected her growth, and she's literally a 20 to 30. I don't know the exact age, but she's like, the only people that want to date me are creeps.
Yeah, there's some media that covers that. Some vampire media. I think Marvel and the Eternals kind of had that, but they had no balls to actually tackle the implications they set up. But if somebody, like, if you were forever looking like a child, everyone that would like you, if anybody likes you, you're like, well, you're a pedophile.
Yeah,
I
so
thought of that when I was even 18 or 19, because I looked young. I've always looked younger than I am, and I would have older guys hitting on me, and that always made me really uncomfortable because I knew that I didn't even look 18. Like, I was 21 years old, still getting actually 25 years old. I was still getting carded for lighters, like.
That's a thing, being
carded
for lighters?
Yeah, I got carded for lighters because I looked young. I looked like a little baby, and when I saw, like, 30-something-year-old guys hitting on me when I knew that I still was looked at as, like, people saw me and saw a minor a lot of times. It's like, you're gross.
Were they
You're
disappointed?
just fucking disgusting.
Were they disappointed when you told them?
Yeah.
They lost interest, and you're like, oh.
I think I just blew them off and never told them my age.
Well, the last thing I wanted to touch on is how much of a little bitch. That's why I know we're going far to the right, because we have a short
Manchin.
episode. Fucking Joe Manchin. Jesus Christ.
We all know he's a traitor. He's a plant. I don't know why everyone's surprised.
Single-handedly is shooting down Biden's agenda.
I think that he's a traitor to his party and his country, and he should be treated as such.
Hell, fucking Mitch McConnell's inviting him to join the GOP.
Yeah, exactly.
Didn't fit
Mitch
in better
McConnell
over
is a
here.
traitor, too,
He's like, come on, it's more comfortable.
traitors.
It's more comfortable over here on this couch. But fucking didn't Bernie Sanders, because he came out and said, I represent the people of West Virginia, and this is what they want. And then Bernie's like, I'll pay for a poll to see what your people actually fucking
did he?
want. Or someone did. I think it was Bernie, because they're the ones that are pissed off about, all the progressives are the one that's pissed off about this Build Back Better plan that's kind of the crux of Biden's agenda, just being single-handedly torpedoed by a fucking Joe Manchin, who has already been dwindling away at it and knocking down some of the social benefits.
Yeah, and when
money.
you look at who's giving him money, he is completely.
He's a coal baron. He's a fucking coal baron, and some of these.
He's a
policies.
West Virginia coal baron. They elected the fucking enemy of that fucking state. That state has been decimated by the coal industry.
And so fucking I don't go to Fox News, but when I go to news.google.com, it does show some Fox News as a source, and it says, these are what West Virginians are saying about Joe Manchin. And I'm like, okay. And I click on it, and they find two random fucking people in West Virginia. They didn't do a poll.
Do they have teeth?
They weren't the most couth of people. But they found, that's how fucking Fox News pushes their fucking narratives.
Yeah.
They find two random fucking people who agree with them.
That's
They probably drove
all that
around.
matters.
They probably drove
Reality
until
is
they
what
saw
they
a
show.
fucking MAGA flag outside of a house and said, what do you think about Joe Manchin?
And that's all you need to know. I mean, exactly like, you wanted to not talk about the tornado, but like, West Virginia is the same. They vote for people against their best interests, and then we pay for it as a country. So.
Yeah, fucking. Actually, there was an article, an op-ed that came out about shitting all over Rand Paul from Kentucky, because he consistently votes down federal aid in places, even 9/11.
Yeah,
fucking several places. But as soon as fucking his state.
The
he was
libertarian.
quick to
Let's
ask
bring that
for it.
all the way back around. You mean the libertarian?
Yeah.
So yeah, as soon as Kentucky is ravaged by fucking.
The new normal violin over here.
The new normal of fucking devastating climate impacts, because of no one on the right wants to acknowledge climate change. So this is gonna be our new normal.
It benefits them.
I mean, it's been fucking prior to this record, we've had 71, 72 degree weather here in fucking.
There's a blizzard going on in Egypt, heat waves in India.
So it's all tied together, but they refuse to accept it, and it's just thoughts and prayers and moving on.
Humans are fucking stupid, bro. Just cancel all of them. All of them.
All right, guys, well, that's going to wrap us up for a little bit of a shorter episode for the holiday week. This is episode 44 of Apostates on the Fringe. Thank you guys again for joining us this week. As always, check us out on social media. If you would like links to the articles or to contact the show, visit us at apostatepod.com, and we will see you all next week.
Fuck Kentucky.
Fuck anti-vaxxers.
And fuck Joe Manchin.
Thank you all very much. Apostates on the Fringe. Apostates on the Fringe.
The views and opinions of the hosts of Apostates on the Fringe do not represent the views and opinions of the Atheist Society of Knoxville. For links to all our musical contributors, go to apostatepod.com and check the About Us page. A big thank you to Michael Scott Arden, who allows the show to use his full catalog.